Okay, you guys. So here we are. So today, on the meeting number 42, we have our keynote speech, which is a member of our own. And today, Manoj Nair, our charter member, is going to present a keynote speech called Leading Unconventionally. So, unconventional leadership in natural, fun oriented, effective, and result oriented. Manoj has 2 decades of corporate experience in leadership positions and a diverse work experience in various personal industries, predominantly in nutrition, pharma, and personal care. And today he will give us this special speech, special keynote, because he considered that leadership is more important than ever before today because of the high frequency of change. So, unconventional leadership is the key because it results in creating an unconventional culture based on creativity, flexibility, and risk taking. So, these three components are essential for innovation and winning in today's hyper competitive global environment. So let's learn together from Manoj. Let's welcome Manoj with leading unconventionally. Leading unconventionally, Manoj Nair.
Thank you so
Are
much, Miranda.
essential for innovation and winning in today's hyper competitive global environment. So let's learn together from Manoj.
Wow. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Miranda. And warm welcome once again to all of you, and particularly our guest who has joined just now. She's Sri Fadila. Uh, yes. And of course, good to see you, Andre, Arlina, and Puttu. Thanks for joining. All of us are interested in leadership. We have always been lifelong learners of leadership. That's something we all have in common, right? I just want to ask you a question which is relevant to all of us. What makes someone a good leader? What makes someone a good leader? I know there are a lot of factors you may be going through the mind. There are, because so much of learning about leadership for so many years. But I would say, from my point of view, it's about the collection of one's life experiences. What you have learned from those experiences, right from childhood, by observations, makes you a good leader. Don't you agree? Now, what makes someone an exceptional leader? I mean, a step above the regular average leadership. Any thoughts? Let me answer that also. From my point of view, I feel it is about something to do with the different ways that people deal with adversity. A true leadership or true exceptional leadership is something that the skills required to conquer adversity and emerge stronger. They all become, or they are all known as exceptional leaders. As my background, as Miranda said, I have been in the corporate for more than 20 years. Yes, I wanted to also do very conventionally, pass out from a good college and go for uh, a management degree from a top institute. But I missed twice that chance. First was in India. I missed after the written test was passed. I missed my group discussion and interview letter. I was traveling another place at work, and this letter came to my place of stay, and I missed it. When I came back, the date was already over. I also tried for an MBA abroad. I thought that's a blessing in disguise. I'll go to the top 10. And I just prepared well in the initial 4 5 years. I got a good GMAT score. And I actually joined Toastmasters because of that, to fine tune my communication skills to when I go to a business school, top business school. So I got Kellogg Business School, one of my dream, just like a temple for me in management. I got 1 year MBA, but I couldn't go because of financial reasons. That made me learn on a day-to-day basis. I'm a product of, learnings from what they don't teach at necessarily at Harvard Business School. A lot of unconventional things. What I've seen generally everywhere, management or leadership, it's a very routine activity. Don't you agree? Companies are so they basically they makes companies very boring, conformist, conventional, and predictable, like commodity players. Therefore, less competitive in most of the cases. There are companies who are very, very conventional. Some of them are very big, large organizations. They have a pattern of management which they don't change because they say that it's theirs. In India, we have seen. I worked for a company which was number three in 1980s, and today they are not in the first 500. Can you imagine? They are still big. They are very good professionals, but actually, friends, majority of the company leadership is about all organizations in general, whether it is a corporate or whether it is any other. It's almost about control and compliance. Leadership, when it comes to leadership, it's all about control and conveyance. Whereas actual leadership, as most of us know in this group, that it's about creating the context of the best ideas to emerge that gives best results. So what is the solution? I would say unconventional leadership is a solution. Well-known unconventional leaders we already know. Steve Jobs, I think, comes to my first in my mind, how he has done without a formal education in business, how he has done. Richard Branson of Virgin Atlantic, even Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, how he has done it. And of course, the Southwest Airlines, which we all know, consecutively 40 years of profit. Herb Keller, which he has done as a leader, how he has done put in that culture. I have also been a student of leadership right from my first job. I started my career in one of the leaders in India, that is Asian Paints, one of the top professional companies. And when I was in the Delhi office and I'm in the guest house, one of my colleagues joined for dinner. And he was from Unilever, India, from the HR. He joined from Unilever in the HR to my company, and we were having dinner and talking. And he told me one interesting story. It's one of the best real life stories I have ever heard, which gives me even now the goosebumps because I am a student of marketing and I have always been passionate about that. The story is like this, friends. Years back, it was in the 90s. Unilever India used to lead the detergent business in India. The brand name is Surf. I'm sure, I think it could be the same brand name in your country as well. And the Ariel was coming, or P&G was coming with their Ariel brand to India. And being a leader and being a marketing expert in all the categories they're managing, whether it's food or detergents, they have been exceptional in consistent results. And this was a major shock. Procter and Gamble coming to India, and that to Ariel. The technology is far superior compared to their current Unilever's current product. So what somebody can do, the management started brainstorming to develop a new product at par with Ariel. There is no time. It takes time. The research team, you need to have the trials. So the marketing team, the top management and the marketing team came up with a strategy, put the sales force of Unilever at work, buy all the Ariel available in the market after the launch, from all the outlets, wherever they launch, pick it up in no time. So there was no Ariel in the market. They did that strategy so well, and they placed it in the outlets, and within minutes it sold out. And PNG took some time to understand. It's getting sold like hotcakes. So much of demand, and they never planned for the back end. They never planned because it's not easy to plan a production plan for a major consumer company because they have the production planning and supply chain management in a very systematic way. You have the 3 months plan, 6 months plan. The sales team had given a plan, and it was shocking. They didn't understand. They thought it's genuine sales, but Unilever got sufficient time to launch their competitive product, Surf by the name Surf Excel. Meanwhile, and they hit the market, and they had the advertising, they had the field staff, they had a wonderful campaign, and it is the story of 1990s. And till today, friends, this year is 2022. Ariel could not catch up with Hindustan Liver's product Surface. That is, P&G still distant number two compared to Unilever. So this is some story which such stories really happen. Some of this don't come to the case studies in business schools because it's a highly confidential guerrilla marketing, unconventional strategies, which are very, very, very secretive to the company. Friends, I also had, when I was getting ready today to come to this meeting, my wife asked why I'm taking the tie. Normally, I don't wear tie in regular days. I said, I have a talk. She asked me, what is it regarding? I said, it's regarding unconventional leadership. So she said, oh, that's what you have done all through your life. So you can just go there and give an impromptu talk. In fact, it's right. It's very true, friends. I have done unconventional leadership all throughout my life. And I became a leader or a CEO at the age of 28 for a startup. In fact, I would have become a CEO at the age of 27. But when that job was offered to me, I said, no. I can never be a CEO. I can be a marketing manager or a marketing head at the most because I feel that I have a little long way to go to become a leader. But the management was kind of okay. They kept an open mind. They looked for other people. They interviewed a few more. But somehow I continued my work as a leader there, and they were really convinced that I can take up as a CEO. We did an amazing job of launching the portable medical oxygen first time in the country. But before that, I did a lot of unconventional marketing strategies, service strategies. A few I had spoken during my speeches or experience. I joined a top company. I said Asian Paints. It was very comfortable. The brand was big. It was easy to manage, and of course, it gave a lot of confidence not only among for you, but also my parents and friends are all felt nice because you're working in a big company. But I wanted to learn. I wanted to do something which I was planning. As I said, I was planning for a top business school. I wanted to make my biodata a little more interesting with a diverse experience. So I moved out and joined a company, Motul Lubricants, which you'll be knowing Motul as a brand. It is a French company. They're leaders, they're pioneers in lubricants. I joined that company in 1998 in India. 1998, so many lubricant companies came to the market, at least 50 of them. So it was so crowded. Apart from the top five, all others were running here and there for business. And mostly they were giving credit. I mean, you take it, give the money when it's sold. So when I joined Motul, they were already in a difficult situation. So my boss told me, Manoj, you're not supposed to sell, you're supposed to collect because so many bad debts in the two states which I was taking over. In fact, some of the dealers, distributors were even committing suicides because of the legal issues. It was that severe, friends. So I took over. It was not easy. When you go there, the dealer, when you go to a dealer, he will not be interested to welcome you. He'll not be even interested to even talk to you. Who are you? Which company? I don't know. I am not interested. Why you want to come? I mean, waste your time and my time. So my colleagues used to work maybe 5 to 6 calls a day or maximum 10. I used to do around 60 calls a day. Start from morning 9 o'clock. It goes up. It used to go up to 9 or 10 in the night. I used to do 60 calls a day. I used to go in a one route. I had to carry, I had to cover around 36 districts in 1 month. So it was very, very tough for me. And I had to meet all the dealers, distributors, and also my end consumers, that is mechanics. So mechanics used to be doctors, as you all know, are the doctors for lubricants. And all the companies, most of the new companies, what they used to do, they used to call the mechanics to a five-star hotel or a four-star hotel and used to treat them like VIPs, present about the company, their culture, their mobile, and their L from France, total from France. Every week they were doing. And good food and great liquor. The liquor was used to be served in buckets because all these mechanics used to mainly go there to drink. And it used to be a very bad scene after the session, how they used to get drunk. So I never wanted to do this because after all, they were only going, their interest was only in food and drinks. So some of the markets were really difficult to crack, particularly large volume consumptions. The trucks, rigs, the truck mechanics are used to really doing very well, who used to buy around 10 barrels, 15 barrels a month. One barrel is around 205 liters. That's a phenomenal business. How to crack that? So these guys were giving handsome commissions to them, and all these guys were after all they used to spend it on drinks and which was not adding any value to them. So I was new to this market. Of course, I was from the paint industry. I came to lubricants. So how could I do better? What I did was we made a plan, a Motul Mother Touch scheme. Motul Mother Touch scheme. It is when the mechanic buys, a percentage of that money goes to the mother's account. We will open a bank account in the mother's name, and we had two options: either mother or wife or daughter. It's only for the females in the family. Mostly, some of them used to prefer for daughters. Some of them preferred for mothers. So it was a wonderful hit, and it really got us going. So this is something, an unconventional strategy which I did, and it was a great success to crack the market. And of course, the basic things as the grassroots level working has to go on, even if you plan something unconventional, because that gives you that stability. That's where you build the foundation. Until you do that hard work, the day-to-day hard work, you will never have a long term. Conventional, unconventional strategies can be there in between to make things better, more, which can give you a further growth from the conventional the growth you're planning. The second one, as I said, I joined and as a startup, this portable medical oxygen was something very new to the market. No one knew how to market this. And all the competitors were giants like Praxair, British Oxygen. They were huge. So where is the market for a small player which came from? It's a Singapore-based company. The product was manufactured from China. And I had a huge challenge. The management wanted it to market. They thought it would sell like hot cakes. If you say portable oxygen, people will just buy. But it was not so easy because people didn't take that concept of breathing oxygen for general health. Of course, I had that idea of making it not only for the medical part, but also for the consumers, general consumers like us, who are like hardworking professionals. We get tired sometimes. You can go back and breathe little oxygen to get fresh and get refreshed. We did a lot of campaigns. One thing which I did unconventionally was we used to have regular meetings for my customers, particularly those who are in the last stage of their lives, who were supposed to leave for another 3 weeks or 3 months or maybe 1 year, hardly maximum. So we used to get them all together, used to have some good fun together. Particularly, we used to have doctors meet. A physician will talk, an orthopedic doctor will talk from their experience. A homeo doctor will talk, an Ayurvedic doctor will talk. So, and also one thing I did unconventional was we used to have a humorist. That was the best part of it. Somebody who really entertained them with humor. And it was so nice to see them laugh and laugh. And many of them came back to me and said, Manoj, it has been months and in fact years that I have laughed like this. That is so amazing. What a good feel good. They never lived for many days or many months, but I saw them happy. Moving on, I would say that there are many, many ways of doing unconventional leadership. One thing is like when you are faced with adversity, which I have faced, I have explained that factor. This is what happened to Steve Jobs. Definitely, he came back to Apple when it was in a total mess that nobody could fix it. So they thought that only the founder can do that. That's exactly what he did. He did so creatively. And from there on, see the Apple's growth, where it became the number one company in the world. So that is something which you face when you face the adversity. The second side is how to do a normal organization more unconventional. That's what maybe of interest for most of us, how to make it unconventional on a day-to-day basis. Friends, there are two C's when it comes to organization. That's that both the C's. One I would say is courage. You should have the courage to go unconventional. The second one is to be creative, the second C. To live a creative or to have a creative base, first thing is like we must lose our fear of being wrong. What happens in most of the organizations I have gone, they didn't want to have change their culture. Some of the culture was very toxic. I happened to join a company after my oxygen, uh, that company, Oxy Health India Private Limited. I joined as a business head of a company where it was mainly into selling botanicals and natural products. The CEO started the company and he ran it so well for almost 10 years and he wanted to leave. And he was a botanist basically. And he knew all the herbs, the botanical names, almost 300, 400 herbs, botanical names. He was an expert. Even when he used to see the herb, he knew it, what it is. Even the photograph, he knew it. And I had only very basic, the knowledge about, like all of you, how experienced you are in herbs. But I had the similar experience. Of course, I used to like natural therapy or alternate therapy, what we call, more than the synthetic medicines at one point of time. So that had some interest. But when I took over this company, first of all, my team didn't have confidence because I am coming from a non-background. Second is that the team actually was depending more on the leader because he was taking all the decisions. So team, all of them were used to work like clerks. And I had three ladies in the team, and all three never used to get along well. Every day they'll be fighting. And one lady or the other lady will be crying. And half the day she will be upset and keeping her head on the desk and she'll be sitting. So this was another challenge. The third challenge I had was my director, whom I was reporting, was a family man, and he had some vested interest, and he had another company already, and he was diverting the business. So I had only 10 days to take over. I had to learn a lot. So what I did was almost all 10 days I slept in the office. I studied all the botanicals. I studied for 5 years of purchases and I studied 5 years of sales. All the customers, what price they're buying, what prices they're selling. In 10 days, I was ready. Sometimes it is partly, the experience you had in the past of studying last minute for the exams and you still did well. You apply that principle here. So the unconventional strategies can work with, as I said, various life experiences, whatever we had in the past, and apply it as certain. And also, the second part I said, first is the two C's of courage and creativity in an organization, how to bring in the creativity and to change the culture. The second one is about the team. How can we take up that challenge? Are you ready to take up that challenge as a team? And the second C, these are three C's I'm telling you about the team. The second one is the care we have for one another. I always had the challenge of putting everybody in the same at the same wavelength, right? I always used to say that we are all here for short term. Let's not, have differences. Let's have healthy differences rather than, liking and disliking people, because don't take it too personal. And, don't judge people unnecessarily. Or I would always say, see the intelligence of that person, not as a person, as a, to be judged. So that is, sometimes it's difficult to change the basic nature of the people, but at least at workplace, I always was successful in coming, building and turning them around. To work as a team, as I always used to say that if you have to succeed in this, we have to die for one another. If you're not dying for one another, we can't come out of the mess. So most of the, whether it is the startup turnarounds used to be, I had 3 startups and I had 5 turnarounds, 5 major turnarounds in my 25 years of career, which was almost difficult. Which was almost like a company closing down point with, one case was almost 200 people in the company. So it's not easy to really close it down when you have that. Many leaders failed. But once when you are there, the team is there with you, it is so easy to really scale it up. So that care is the second one. Not only care for one another, the care for the customers, the care for the suppliers, whoever comes in, treat them well. It is about mostly being a true professional and also be a true human. And the third one is, I would say, compassion. It's something like, people are too judgmental. And most of the organizations I've seen, people waste a lot of time in egos. I am better than you. I don't like that person. What he thinks about, or what she thinks about herself. All those things, a lot of people waste time. So third part, I would say, is the compassion. Like, you need to really accept them as they are. I know certain people are behaving, they may have their own reasons, but we need to focus on what is there in our hand. So friends, the 2 C's, courage and creativity, and the 3 C's, that is care, challenge, care, and compassion. These are some of the important things, and which I have learned and applied. So what is actually, friends, what is difficult in being unconventional? We are all born unconventional. We are all born, with our individual strengths. Over a period of time, we get conditioned right from our school days, and we are taught that you should be like this. So we have to come out of that. And we may not be as unconventional or innovative as Steve Jobs, but you can become far more less conventional in your thinking and become a more unconventional leaders by applying some of these principles. And I would say a few lines to conclude, that is, follow your passion. All of you are definitely passionate about what you're doing, and that will lead to your purpose. That takes you, and when you surround with the people who are, when you are all working together, definitely they are going to take you higher as a leader. Be easy whenever you face challenges. We all sometimes tend to take life so seriously. Life is supposed to be fun. And when you're into unconventional leadership, the more playful you are, the easier it is. Sometimes we are all tested, not to show our weakness, but to discover our strengths. Stop looking for magic when you go there, because you are the magic. You have to create that magic. Friends, last but not the least, as a true leader, an unconventional leader, you need to be absolutely selfless when you're on a purpose, and you need to have very high integrity. And that integrity has great, great power, which I have experienced, and I don't have time to tell that. I have 2 wonderful incidences which happened, which I will share later. So these 2 things really, really will support you, even if you have temporary challenges, differences. People may not, allow you to go forward with your unconventional strategies. But most often, when you are in a challenging situations, definitely they also don't have any options, because they will let you do whatever you can when you are in that situation. But when you are in a regular situation, how you can do unconventional things, that's up to you. And look for opportunities. And today's theme is more related to this. to expect the unexpected. You know, as Oscar Wilde said, to expect the unexpected shows a thoroughly modern intellect. Thank you, and back to you, Miranda Rumi.
Thank you, Manoj. Everyone, let's give Manoj a big hand of this well prepared keynote, and we all learn about unconventional leadership, leading unconventionally. And yes, Manoj is the living example of that. And we're very happy to have you amongst us. Does anybody have question? I would like to open the session, the floor for about 5 minutes of questions.
Yeah, some people may not really uh, agree to this unconventional leadership. So, what will you do?
Yeah, good question, Alina. It is something which it need not be very much against the culture of a company. One thing is like, how I did it actually. When I go and join a company, I had joined a big company in 2006 to start a new division for them. That is JK organization. As I said, they were number three in India. They're still big. They have very very conservative culture. Like the leaders are all in their late 50s or early 60s. In fact, they didn't have the culture of retirement. We had some people at 81, still continuing in the company because they added a lot of value. So they never took me very seriously. I was only 36 at that time, 34. So what happened to me was when I joined as the head of business, uh, I'm just telling you very, very elaborately. I don't know how I did it when things are difficult. And they were actually heading for a CEO. Where I was a CEO. Though they didn't give me a CEO position in paper, they gave me a general manager position because in that company, a general manager, you will become a general manager at the age of 50 only, even if you are doing in a good way, good performing way. I was an exception. So what happened with me was they didn't never allowed me to really go ahead, to spread my wings. I was like they never gave me freedom. They gave me a little room for some business to show them what I am supposed to do. So I was in a serious problem. I mean, I came with a lot of I went with a lot of expectation. I couldn't really change the culture. I couldn't a nice team, and I was not allowed to do. What I did was my immediate boss. I couldn't really tell what I'm doing. Can you believe it? I kept on doing business because he was asking me not to go beyond a certain level because company didn't want to. But it was a safe business. I was not doing for myself, and I was doing for the company. I was building a business. I had to pay salaries. So after that 7 or 8 months in the company, I had sent my annual sales figures to my boss. So suddenly I got a call, after sending after my annual sales figures by email, I suddenly got a call on my extension. I took the phone. Hi, Manoj. I got the sales report. Is it USD 7,000? I said, no, sir, it is USD 700,000. So I heard a silence and he banged the phone. So after that, it was so easy for me. Actually, I got freedom that day. That if this guy could do this much without support, what this guy could do with support. So that is one way of doing it. But second way is like, as your direct question to change the culture is suppose you see the culture. I worked in a toxic. I joined a company which is very toxic work culture. The chairman was like a dictator, and people did not even smile or laughed in the office. It was that severe. I mean, everyone was spied. So, and a few who dominated, a few other colleagues, a lot of politics. So how to neutralize that? These are some of the challenges. And, you need to really, as I said, you need to really show that leadership there as a true leader. You don't care for anything. And you need to have that fear. You should not have that fear of failure or even fear of losing the job. I was like, thinking, I went and told my HR head that day, are you doing human relations or inhuman relations? I just asked the same question, the HR head, because I was not bothered. I was having fun. He said he opened his drawer and showed me a paper. Manoj, I'm the HR head, but this is my resignation letter kept ready. I am ready to go anytime. See, imagine that culture, what you can do. I have seen people coming in and getting fired in 10 days, 15 days. A chief operating officer joined. He was fired in 20 days. So it was that kind of culture. And it is amazing how, but still you have to stand there. And it's all about results. If you can really deliver well in results, nobody can touch you. And that is what I said, ethics and integrity. If you are high in ethics and integrity, you are like, nobody can touch you because they can't find fault with you. Believe me, friends, I have a wonderful experience to share. And I did phenomenal in joining that company. In 10 days, 10 months, the sales doubled. Okay, the sales was a record 90% because of the change in the work culture, change in, the people who are really self-motivated to do their things. In fact, I changed a lot of things. Girls were not able to travel because when they used to come back, the accounts people used to deduct. They had a certain budget hotel. The accounts people used to deduct that much because they had to pay from the pocket. And these girls naturally can't stay in substandard hotels because it's not safe. So I went and told the accounts guy, from tomorrow you will travel. We will not travel. I changed their basic hotel allowance to a higher allowance. But these are some of the things you have to really intervene and do. I mean, as a leader. And ultimately, when the results are there, nobody is going to question you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Manoj.
And
Mahalina,
one more
did
thing I
that
would like
answer?
to add, I know I took a lot of time on a day-to-day basis, how we can do unconventional leadership. I joined this big company, I told you, and I wanted to
Yeah.
hire my second person, that is the head of operations. So the HR, as it's a bureaucratic company, the HR people take their own time.
Yeah.
So I had given a date. They said, okay, we are working on it. We are working on it. And it was in another city. So I had to travel by flight and go there. And that day also, when I went there, they said, oh, sorry, we are a little busy with some other meetings. Can we make it another day? So it happened twice. So what I did, I called up this candidate and I went to his office and I had the interview in his office, in his cabin, and sent the appointment letter later. So these are some of the things we can do. We can't, nobody should stop us from doing certain things which is right and which is for the company. So
Yes.
sorry and thank you. And
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj. So your time is up. I hope, Halina, that answers your question. Yes, very good. Okay, thank you, Manoj. Let's give Manoj a big hand of applause. And let's proceed with the evaluation session. I would like to ask Alan to give his evaluation of Manoj. Alan?
Thank you, Miranda. Manoj, this is going to be probably one of the toughest evaluations that I've have definitely delivered. So let me just break it down. I have 4 minutes. So I'll just give an overview of, I think, what stood out for you as a keynote speaker. I think as a keynote speaker, it's always about credibility. It's always about insights that you're able to bring. And I don't think anyone would doubt what credibilities, insights, experience that you would have, because based on all the stories that you've shared with us, there's a lot of nuggets in there, and definitely we will be able to take home a lot of messages. So that is something that we all should appreciate, and something that I personally appreciate from you as well. What I would like to share with you a little bit more would be some of my perspective in terms of how I felt or what I've observed in terms of the whole keynote as a area of improvement. I put it down into 5. I hope I can cover all 5, but let me just briefly go through it here. So number 1 is structure. I think keynote is a extended version of a speech. If a speech were to be a trailer, and a keynote were to be the full 2 hours version, right? They still need to abide by certain structure because it allows people to have clarity of the message that you wanted to deliver. So I would encourage that if you would want to rewatch your keynote, then you'll be able to identify the lack of structure in the sense of where are you going right now. There were so many points in there, and it was an amazing. I felt like a Q&A sessions there. But if I were to put it into like where is Manoj heading to? What is he really talking about at this moment right now? It got me lost a little bit. So I would like to recommend on reviewing on the structure itself. Number two is to focus on engagement. So if I were to ask quickly of all our audience in here right now, what was the key message, or what exactly is the leadership that Manoj is preaching here? Maybe everyone would be just quickly type in the chat, right? What is the key message of the leadership that you could take away from Manoj keynote earlier on? While they are all typing, right, Manoj, I believe that they will come up with different also keywords. And I think that is something that would relates to engagement as well, right? So if I want to engage with my audience, I want to ensure that it is two-way. I share with them something and they're able to get the same thing that I want to share with them as well. If everyone is sharing different things, right, it's kind of like what Miranda mentioned, she might felt a bit lost as well. Okay, so that's the two things: structure. Second thing is about the engagement. So engagement, when you engage with them, you want to make sure you engage in a way that they understand. Third, I will skip the other two, but I'll focus on this third one, which I think is a key thing here. As much as I love the idea of unconventional leadership, I felt there were certain qualities to it. For instance, when you talk about the stories of Unilever, I thought they were strategic. They were very strategic. When you talk about the lubricant stories, right, I thought it was creative problem solving. If you were to talk about some of your story, I felt you were visionary. Hence, I thought there were certain qualities of leadership that was being demonstrated. Maybe a better word to umbrella or to house everything would be situational leadership. There are many types of qualities of leadership, pace settings, and so on and so forth. But depending on the situations that you're in, certain qualities would excel or would be more required than the others. This is just some of my suggestions, because when you continuously share about unconventional, I couldn't help but think about this word, which is something that Helena mentioned, creativity. I felt it was more about how to solve a problem in a creative way rather than just leadership itself. So leadership, part of it, it's about creative problem solving, maybe. So it's a I would say this is a good project because I thought there's a lot of potential in it. Reviewing on what you have shared, looking into the structure, focusing on how you want to engage with the audience throughout the 25-30 minutes, and finally identifying what is that one thing that you want to share with us would help to elevate this into a really awesome keynote. So that's my take, and I hope I was able to share some good information with you as well. So that's my feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. There's some gems in that evaluation. Thank you. And now I would like to call upon Pradeep Kumar, Distinguished Toastmaster, to give your evaluation on Manoj.
Thank you, Madam President and fellow Toastmasters and Manoj. Manoj, I thought you delivered, and your delivery was really excellent because I thought you were very, very comfortable today in making this delivery, because something which was very much close to your heart. And overall, I liked your speech. I liked, and you build, as the earlier evaluator also mentioned, I think you build solid credibility, talking about your passion and your aspiring to be in some of the great B schools, which you actually got, and it was so sad that you were not there. And I think that was a fantastic build up to what you're going to say. and say that, I didn't get that, solid management studies, but I knew I used very unconventional methods. So I thought that was a real good buildup. And I liked all your personal stories. Probably, if I had to suggest, I would have asked you to take away the Unilever, because Unilever, everybody would think, and then you brought guerrilla tactics, which is again part of management, and people will think, that's really part of management. But your personal stories were awesome. So I thought the personal stories, maybe in certain areas you sort of extended a little bit. You could have cut short, gone into the main points and told about those main points, but the main points are really, really brilliant. And I think as soon as you finish those 3 stories, you should just come up with the C's, but I didn't like the 2 C's and then the 3 C's. Either you should have just kept it 2 C's or 5 C's and say, if I would sort of say, from all these experiences, what I've shared with you, it's simple. It's about, it's not about knowing management, okay? It's about just having the courage. It's about being creative, and it's about caring for people. And you don't have to give, I would have not given any call for action, because I would love to be, thinking about those stories, carried away by those stories, and taking away these 4 C's or 3 C's. And then I would just be with you. I would have not been judgmental. I would have not talked about the call for action. I think that's what you need to do. So it's a wonderful thing. There are places where you have to cut. And then this thing would be an awesome speech, because it's real life. It's fantastic. It is for people. Most people who have missed those large B schools and things will just get motivated by this and say, hey, I can make it. This is just simple, plain stuff. You don't need jargons. You don't need management thing. So everything was there. Maybe a little excess. If you cut that, it's a marvelous keynote speech. You can go and give it to B school students or people who missed the B school and go to the lower schools and say, hey, you guys can still make it in life. And that, I think, would really, really think, and you should try that. You should go to some of the small schools, B schools, and not very big schools in Bangalore, and do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And back to you, madam.
Thank you, Pradeep. Very insightful. And now I would like to open the floor for perhaps 2 more evaluation. However, make it very short, like 1 to 2 minutes. If anybody would like to join in and share their feedback. Okay, anyone would like to speak up? Alina?
Yes, very short. I think
Yes.
it was I think I was very impressed by that one strategy in which the percentage of the commission or so was given to the wife or the daughter. I was so surprised. And maybe you can make a humorous twist there, like, oh yeah, they don't give it to the wife, isn't it? So they're maybe afraid that the wife would buy expensive handbag or so. I don't know. But I don't know whether
That's why
you're.
we mentioned mother touch.
I don't know whether you're allowed to
mother
use
or
that humor.
daughter.
You can actually use a bit of humor there.
Yeah, good suggestion, humor. Thank you, Halina. Anyone else would like to add to that? Robin, I saw you unmuting yourself, or now Charm is showing your face. Yeah, you would like to say that?
Sharmini wants to say something. She always calls me, Manoj, come on, what you're doing. Yes.
Can I speak?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Charm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Sharmini. Yes, we can hear you, but I think there's a lag of.
Okay. Now you're, yeah.
All right, it's a bit of a problem. I just wanted to say this was a very good speech. This is the best that I've heard from Manoj, and I actually also loved that both the evaluations, Ellen's and Pradeep's, were wonderful. And just with these 3, Manoj speech and the 2 evaluations, I've gained so much today, and I'm glad I joined in, even if it's late. So thank you for all 3 of you, and thank you Manoj, for getting. I got to know you better as a leader.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
that.
much.
Back to you, Miranda.
I'm a just born keynote speaker. This was my first, and
Oh, congratulations.
I
Well,
hope I did not let you down.
Yes. Very good, very good.
very good, very good. Well, I guess we're honored to be the recipient, to be the viewers of your first keynote for your first attempt. So
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? If not, I will close this keynote session. Okay.
I
All
just
right.
I just want to
Andre,
say,
Andre want to say.
yeah,
Andre want to say
I
something. Okay.
yeah, I really enjoyed. I made the right decisions to join this meeting, Manoj. Thank you very much, and thank
Thank
you
you,
for the
Andre.
evaluators and everyone who has
We
shared
want
your
you to
thoughts
be
and
back
ideas.
as a member, Andre.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
Always
Helena.
waiting for you to come back, and also
All
Halina.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, thank you, everyone. So with that, we close the keynote session, but we're not close. We don't close the meeting yet. And now, before we close the meeting, I would like to ask comments from the guest. Who is here for the first time? I guess Putu is here for the first time, and let's hear. Yeah. And we can also hear the others. But let's start with Putu. Putu, what is your comment or impression or feeling about this meeting? How was it for you?
Yeah, thank you, Miranda. So first, I would like to say that it's good for us to share with each other around of in the world, yeah, India, Brunei, and Indonesia. So this give the opportunity learn each other. Even like me, especially I taking coaching session with only Indonesian people and using the bahasa. So now I can learn about each other, learn from other country like from India. So it's good lah for me. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. You get some value from this meeting. Thank you so much. And yeah, did anyone else? I know everyone is already familiar with TNC, but if anyone would like to just make a short comment, I welcome you. Even members, if members want to say something, let's hear it. Helena, you smile. You want to say something?
I want to challenge Shu Chin.
Shu Chen to say something. Shu Chen actually spoke quite a lot earlier, but yes, Shu Chen, you want? Is there? Well, I mean, it's up to you.
Well, we made our team expect the unexpected. Though we are our members, we did not have choose the roles, but we made it. We made it, and on time. 3 minutes more is 8:00.
Yes.
So I said today we were very successful in conducting this meeting today. Back to you, Belinda.
Yeah, thank you, Shu Chen. And I think I would like to hear from Pradeep, since I haven't seen you in a while. So how was this meeting for you?
Yeah, it was very good actually. I like the way you opened up in the beginning to have those discussions. I think because that's something which I really also like and think about. And also the second session, of course, I gave my feedback already. I think it's good, and also good to hear from guests that they love this thing. That's something which is which makes me feel very good.
Yeah.
And also probably it sort of challenges us to become better.
Yeah.
So people are looking out to come here, and they say that's a great value. Then probably we're doing something good already, and we can do better, and that's what we have repeated, right? So that's nice.
Yeah. Well, I believe, thank you, Pradeep. And I do believe we've done great things, but as Toastmasters, we know, right? There's always room for improvement, and the best is yet to come, always. Yeah. So lasting comments, Anna, do you want to say something, or Elios or Sham? And good. All right. And Manoj, how was it for you? Quick, in 1 minute, how was it for you to give your first keynote speech?
Good, Minanda, as I said, it is from experience. So, as Alan pointed out, I should have structured it a little more better. I think, preparation is very important. So, but as I wanted to try a little spontaneous, a little bit, what comes naturally. And yes, both the feedbacks are amazing, top class evaluators, and I take it
Yeah,
very
yeah.
positively. And I'll just start my journey now from here. But I will not step out of my.
Yes,
Earlier, I used
yes,
to come out and I used to excuse, say, Harlina, please, have somebody else.
yes.
So
Yeah, I was surprised that this is actually Manoj's first because some of us have done second or even third, and Manoj had been like deferring, and finally you broke the ice and you dive in. And so, congratulations, Manoj, for taking the courage.
next time I can invite some guests. I was not very
Oh, so you're
sure that.
hoping there were no guests coming?
Yeah, next time definitely I'll bring in role models.
Yeah, well, I'm happy you get that confidence or that like, I've done it, and it's like actually it's not too bad, right? And you get amazing feedbacks for what you've done. Andre, I saw you turn your video on. You want to say something, Andre? And for those who don't know, Andre is actually our charter member as well. Okay, no, yeah, we're happy to have you. All right. With that, if there's no other input, I would like to thank everyone for your presence and for your engagement. I feel like everybody's really present, really here. And we're all very good listeners, and we made a great meeting together. So thank you with that. We see each other again in, is that 2 weeks'
2 weeks
time?
time.
Yeah, in
Yes.
2 weeks' time. There's no fifth Thursday. All right. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week. And sorry, going to weekend. Oh, Anna, want to say something, Anna?
Yeah, I'm in a museum, so I have to just put I wanted to talk to you privately.
Okay.
Like who? Me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Do you want to talk to me privately without the rest of the group or with us members only? Oops, I don't hear you.
Walking.
Our next meeting is 10th November.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm considering doing this session. We can do this session and just invite all members to kind of like a workshop to.
No,
Hello?
I am, I just wanted to thank you. Are we well to the next level?
Sorry?
So what I want to say,
Yes?
I want to say thank you. I'm going to transition.
Ooh, we're losing you.
My
We can't hear you. Yeah, you want to transition? That's the last word
and
I.
yeah, it's really hard to talk. I will send you an email, but let's proceed with the payment. I think
Okay.
I need to just make the commitment. And yeah, today the speech was excellent. It's just that I had a unfortunate news just before the meeting, which rendered me very unfocused and not engaged as much as I would like to have been. But I really enjoyed the speech, and it hit home. As every meeting, I learned something new, and I connect to your members. So thank you,
Thank you.
Miranda.
We'll
Thank you.
get in
And
touch.
actually,
We'll get
when
in
we go
touch.
through
Yeah.
this, I have the similar experience. When I interview some people, I have seen they're not in their good state of mind. Sometimes they had some of them used to feel so low. I will stop the interview there and then chit chat, what you're feeling and things like
Yeah,
that. Sometimes I
Manoj,
reschedule the interview to another day.
yeah,
So,
and maybe we should.
what
Manoj,
happened with Anna?
Manoj, let's Anna speak. Let Anna speak.
No, I'm sorry. It's just that there's a delay, and I'm in a museum. Because I just entered, I would like to talk to you independently and maybe explain to you, but I need to just have a few days of rest. I came on the line because you guys are so helpful in helping me define my future. You know, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm a transformation manager. You can look at my LinkedIn profile. I'm not a young girl, I'm 60. And
Me
that's part
too.
of it.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm 62.
So I think what I like about this group is the maturity, and really there's real life wealth of information. We all are going through similar things, and I think there's a great deal of, and it's not all negative with me, it's just recent, you know, having COVID, the stress of, you know, being sick for 6 weeks. But I think overall you guys give me the perspective I need, because you've been down that road. So thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. So yeah, we'll chat. We'll
Yeah.
chat privately. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Connect
you.
with Miranda for anything. You know, she's a good mentor, and she'll slept.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, moving forward. I mean, most of there are like how many? One, two, three, four, five of us. What do you think about like having a member-only session when we just brainstorm and talk about where we want to take this club? And yeah, I mean, if inactive members want to join,
Thank you
and
so much.
okay, yeah, bye bye.
Best of luck, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Pradeep,
you, thank
Christian,
you.
Manoj.
Yeah, well, we hope you come back, Halina
Yes.
and Andre. I
Thank
mean,
you,
you're
Alex,
our
as
charter
well.
members.
Right. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, maybe instead of a meeting, let's just get everybody come and we do a little workshop and have a clear agenda about, you know, what to discuss, what we hope to get out of that discussion, and to you know, I mean, I wrote your suggestions. Oops, actually, I probably should
You're
end.
still live on YouTube, is that?
Yes, so